Hi, and welcome to Internet Basics. So in this video, we're going to cover quite a bit of information. We're going to cover browsers, what they are and how many different ones there are out there. We're going to cover the home page, addresses in the address bar, different domains, how to use links, how to use buttons, the general layout of a web browser, tabbed browsing, favorites and bookmarks. We're going to learn how to download files. We're going to learn a little bit about searching and security. Security. When we talk about the internet, we have got to be safe, and I just want to stress that for you. It's on campus, it's not so bad because we have so many firewalls, but when you're at home and you're alone working on this stuff, if you start searching things, you could potentially have some problems. So sit back and let's start talking about the internet. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is, what is the internet? And the internet started way back when. The infrastructure was in place. 50s and 60s and 70s, and it kind of morphed into ARPANET, which was run by the military, and the military wanted to use that to be able to keep in contact with places all over the world. And then ARPANET kind of morphed into little things called bulletin boards, and then the bulletin boards morphed into basically what we see now in the internet. And an internet is just a network of networks. And so we have all these computers and they have web pages, and then your computer connects to the internet via an internet service provider, and that allows you to go out and take a look at the different things that are offered on the internet. When I first got the internet back in I think it was 1984, excuse me. It was 1984. And it was like $20 a month, but it was so slow. It was a dial-up. And I can remember I had a 14.4 modem. Now, that probably doesn't mean anything to you, but it was like watching paint dry, how slow it was. It was just terrible, but that's what you had and that's what you use. And I was going to college, and it helped me out. And it's just progressed leaps and bounds since then. So, now we are such social creatures and we are so connected to the internet that it went from, people having internet back then, maybe half of a city would have internet, or not even half, maybe a quarter of the city would have internet. And now it's so prevalent that just about everybody has some sort of an internet connection. Either it's on your phone, or, you can get it at the library, or you have it at your house. We have just become that sort of society where, we want to know everything all the time, and we want to be connected. So we use the internet now to, take online classes, and we use the internet to do a little online shopping, and then we connect with our social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Gosh, there's just so many different ways that we're interacting with people that maybe we wouldn't have a chance to do that if we didn't have the internet. Okay, but we're going to come back now. How do we use the internet? How do we know where to go or what to do? Or, well, that's a good question. The first thing we have to do is make sure that we have an internet service, and so we would go through Comcast, or we would go through CenturyLink, or maybe we don't have an internet connection and we have to get connected to the internet at the library or at the school. Maybe we just use our cell phone, so we're using a cellular service. There are multiple ways to connect to the internet, and it's all the same internet. It's not a different internet. Everything is the same, depending on what kind of device you're using. You might not see things the same, but you're still going to the same places. But we need a web browser. We need a program called a web browser to be able to view the information that is on the internet. So web browsers, all web browsers basically work the same way. They use a set of rules to transfer information from one place to another. So when you open up your browser, you are downloading information from a computer that is remotely located from you. It might be in your town, but more than likely it's not. So it's somewhere else, and you are downloading that information. But first you have to send a request, so you're uploading information. You're saying, I want this, and it's saying, okay, here you go. So the browsers all work mainly the same. Some of them are better than others. The three big ones probably are Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, and Internet Explorer. However, Internet Explorer is a little flaky, and I don't really suggest using it, especially with Canvas. We have stated before that Google Chrome is the browser to use when you're working with your Canvas stuff. It has been tested with Canvas and it works fairly well, and so that's what the college suggests we use. So that's what we're going to use today. I'm going to show you a couple of differences between a couple of different browsers, but for the most part we're going to be using Google Chrome. So here on my desktop, you see I have a couple of icons. I have a Google Chrome icon and I have a Mozilla Firefox icon. I also have access to Internet Explorer. Now, Internet Explorer is being phased out. So with the release of Windows 10 from Microsoft, you can still get Internet Explorer on there, but they are no longer going to make updates. They're using what's called Microsoft Edge. So they're trying to distance themselves away from Internet Explorer because it has just been riddled with issues and security flaws and slow browsing. When you have Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox out there that do such a better job at what Microsoft Internet Explorer was first brought out to do, then we don't want to use the inferior things. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to double click on Google Chrome, click, and that's going to launch the program into a window. And so here we have this window. And this is actually the home page that you'll see if you open Google Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer on campus. So we come to the Grays Harbor College website, and this is considered the home page, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But what I want to do is talk a little bit about the general layout of the browser. So this is a standard window. So if you look up here in the corner, we have the standard quick sizing buttons, the minimize, the restore down, and the close. And this would be considered the title bar. There's no title up here, but this is actually the title bar for this particular program window. Up here on the left-hand side, we have a tab. And this was brought out quite a while ago. It used to be when you opened up a browser, you could see one window in it, or one website, and then you'd have to open up another instance of the browser to be able to look at another website. And so that would utilize resources, and then your machine would slow down considerably, and it was just a mess. So now they've come up with this tabbed browsing. And what that means is you can have multiple tabs. So this is one tab, and I have an X, which means I could close this tab. This little icon right here is the new tab icon. So if I click this, it's going to bring another tab open. Okay, so here's my previous tab. Here's my new tab, and it says new tab. And I've got my cursor flashing here. Now this is the address bar. And the address bar is for the website address that you want to visit, okay? So if I know the website address that I want to visit, I'm going to type type that here. Now there's a couple of different conventions. Website addresses usually have a www dot something dot something. The www stands for World Wide Web, and it used to be required. You used to have it. Now not so much. So if I want to go to MSN, I can type in msn.com and I can click enter and it will take me there. It will automatically put the www in front of it. Did you see that? I didn't type that in. It automatically put that in. It knows that that's what you want, okay? It knows, it just filled it in automatically. So if we come over here to Grays Harbor College, again, we have the www.ghc.edu. So these are tabs, okay? These are tabs. This is the address bar. Then you have a back button. So it says click to go back. Okay, if you hold it, you're going to see the history of the pages that you've visited. And then this one says click to go forward, or you could hold it to see the history of the pages that you have been and that you've gone back from. Okay, some websites don't have the forward button. They have the back button, but usually not the forward. This guy is the refresh. It says if we cursor over it, it gives us a screen tip that says reload this page. So what does that mean? I want to make sure I have the most recent version of the page. I'm going to go ahead and click the reload and it's going to reload that for me. Or maybe something got stuck and we're like, oh man, why isn't that loading? So if we click reload, it could refresh that. We could refresh that page. When we did that, you saw the X, okay? The X would actually say stop loading it. You know, if it just wasn't working or we just wanted to stop whatever was happening on that page, we could click the stop button and it would stop it. This area right here is my bookmarks bar, and I'm going to show you how you can get that because that's not there by default. I'm going to suggest a couple of bookmarks here in the near future too, okay? So remember I said if you know the website address that you want to go to, you can type it here. Well, what if you don't know? What if, you know, you want to go to a website and you're just not sure what that would be? We could go to Google. So we could go google.com, enter. And here's my Google search engine. So we could type in something. So maybe we wanted to know about, let's say Quaker Oats. So here we have Quaker Oats, and it comes up and it shows me that this is the website for Quaker Oats, okay? So I know I could click on this and I could go to their website. Now I'm not going to, I don't have any reason to, but I just thought that that was kind of an easy thing to do. So anyway, you can search for those types of things as well, but don't search in the, don't put a website address in the search field because all you're doing is searching and then you have to click anyway. So you're just saving a step by using the address bar. And see, when I clicked in there one time, did you see how everything highlighted in blue? When we highlight something and we start typing, what happens? Whatever is highlighted is going to be deleted. So if I type in Google, see what happened? I didn't have to hit delete. I didn't have to hit backspace. I just started typing and it got rid of all the text that was in there and it just typed right over it, okay? And then I would hit enter to make it go. So that's the address bar and addresses. So, you know, we could have different addresses as far as how they're laid out. If we take a look, we have www.google.com. Not all the time do you have the www here. You could have something else. For example, if we go to our Canvas page, it starts out ghc.instructure.com. And if I hit enter, it's going to take me to our Canvas page. And if I look up here, it says ghc.instructure.com/login/Canvas. Now we've talked a little bit about paths, and that's exactly what that is. And this GHC is kind of like, I'm going to liken it to a subfolder. So this instructure.com, that is the website, and GHC GHC is a subdomain in Instructure.com. Okay, so this would be sub, this is the domain, and this is the top level. This is kind of like the extension. So if we take a look over here at Grays Harbor College, we have ghc.edu. Well, why do we have edu here and we have .com here? Well, you know, it all depends on what type of establishment we have. We have edu for educational establishments. We have .com, usually for commercial. We have .net for internet or network. We have .org for usually charitable organizations or some sort of like a school. Sometimes you can use org for schools. We have .gov for government. You know, there's .tv. Then you get into country codes. We're not going to get into country codes, okay? Just stay away from some that have country codes because they're bad sites. But anyway, you know, our domains can be different. The top level domains can be different, and definitely this portion of the domain is always going to be different for someone. So, and that's where we can get into trouble when we search too, because if we're searching for something, somebody can do what's called a misspell hijack, and we have misspelled the actual word and it takes us somewhere else, and then we get all these problems. But anyway, that's just a little primer on, you know, website addresses and the domains and the difference between those things. So once we get to a page, so here we have Grays Harbor College, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of move my cursor around. And as I move my cursor around, you can see that it changes its shape. So here I have an arrow that's pointing off to the left. This is my standard cursor. Okay, so if I move around the page, that's what it is. Okay, if I land on something that is a link to something else, my cursor is going to turn into a hand. And that hand with the finger, the index finger up, indicates that we have a clickable link. And a link is going to take us somewhere else. It's either going to take us somewhere else on that same domain, that same website, or it's going to take us out of that website completely. So for the college, most of the sites, most of the links are going to take us to a site within Grays Harbor College. So let's just click on, we'll just click on current students. So we see that this part didn't change, but now we have content and GHC-students. Okay, so this is the new website that we just clicked on. Okay, so I'm going to click the back button. Okay, I'm going to go back to Grays Harbor College main page. And if I click on maybe getting started and the academic calendar, then we can see that now we still have www.ghc.edu, but this is the rest. This is a different page on the same domain, okay? Now, if we go to Google and we type in cats, okay, I'm going to type in cats. So here I have got all these pictures because everybody searches for cats, right? Anyway, so I've got cats. So I've typed in cats, and if I click on something from this website, it's going to take me somewhere else. So if I take a look, this says cat, Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, and we have this link here. Okay, this link says https://, that's what it means, en.wikipedia.org. Okay, they're an organization, wiki-cat. Okay, so I know that that's a decent website. It's not going to give me an infection or something like that. But if I scroll down, I can kind of see here's this pets.webmd.cat. So thinking back about what we said about ghc.instructure.com, we have WebMD, which is usually a people site, right? And then we have a subdomain of pets. So we have pets.webmd.com/cats. Okay, most of them have like a www, but anyway. So this link would actually take us to a completely different domain. I would end up on Wikipedia from Google if I clicked here. Okay. All right, so those are links, and most links are going to be denoted by some sort of change in your cursor. Okay, so as I come over the text here, as I cursor over the text, you can see that I have an I-beam pointer. Okay, that's a different type of pointer, of cursor. So the next thing, we've talked about the tabbed browsing a little bit. So here I have 3 tabs, and I can click between the 3, okay? I can click between the 3. I can add another. I can close one, or I can close 2, okay? If I close all of them, then it closes the program as well. So if I do this and do this, it's going to close the program. And then I have to go open the program up. Even though I didn't click the X over here, I clicked this and it got rid of it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to Canvas, and I'm going to go to MSN, and I'm going to go to Google. And the reason I go to MSN is just because it loads fairly quickly and there's a lot of information on there. So my internet connection is a little laggy tonight for whatever reason. Anyway, so I've got these 3. Oh, and I opened up Firefox, so we want to close this. Close. Okay. And we want to open Google Chrome back up. So we're going to go back. So we're going to go to ghc.instructure, and we're going to go to MSC. I use Firefox all the time, and that's why I did that. So okay, so now I have the 3 tabs back open. So maybe I want to take one of these out, and you might not want to do that at any time. I do it frequently, where I would just grab and drag a tab out of that window. Okay, so now if we take a look, I've got these 2 tabs, and then the third one is in its own window. And if I look down here, I have 2 different windows open on my Google Chrome. Okay, so you can also move I moved it right back. You can also move their location on the browser itself, so I could move it all around if I wanted them to be in a specific order. Okay. So tab browsing can be kind of fun. If this one is set that it just closes it. If I come back over here to Firefox, I just want to show you the differences. So this is Firefox, and if we take a look, I've got the file edit view, but that's because I right-clicked and I said, oops, I right-clicked and I told it I wanted to see the menu bar. This is how it usually looks, kind of like Google Chrome, right? So we have a tab, and we have an address bar, and up here this is a standard window, so we have our quick sizing buttons. Okay, we have a back button. We, however, don't have a forward button. Our refresh button is here. So a lot of the same aspects are available on all of them, and they do that on purpose so that it's pretty easy for you to transition from one browser to another if you need to do that. Okay. But if I open multiple tabs here, if I come over here and I go here, and then I'm over here and I go Choker Mail, and I come over here and I say, okay, I'm going to go to MSN, then you see I've got all 3 of these open. If I click the X, it comes up and it says, come on. It says, you are about to close 3 tabs. Are you sure you want to continue? So it's saying you have multiple tabs open. Are you sure you want to close them all? And I've got this set so that it warns me when I attempt to do that, because sometimes I actually forget that I have tabs open, and I might be editing something, or I have something important that I wanted to save and I haven't bookmarked it yet. So I would say, oh gosh, cancel. Okay, I'm going to cancel that, and I'll go back in there and I'll just close the tab that I want to close. So I'm going to tell it to go ahead and close the tabs. And we're going to go back in here to Google Chrome. So the next thing we're going to talk about are our bookmarks. Okay, so in Microsoft Internet Explorer, they were launched as favorites. I can't remember what they were in Netscape. Netscape is a really old browser, and it's kind of gone away. It's definitely obsolete and gone. But in Internet Explorer, they were called favorites, and they were denoted by a star. And I'm sure you've seen that at some point in time. With Google Chrome and Firefox, they still have the star, but they are called bookmarks instead of favorites. Okay. So if you hear favorites, if you hear bookmarks, they are both the exact same thing. And what they really are is a shortcut to a website that you have visited or that you want to be able to go back to. Okay. And in Google Chrome, we can tell if something is a bookmark by looking at the star over here on the right-hand side of the address. See, this is the address bar, this whole thing. And if I come over here and take a look, this is telling me that this is currently a bookmark. If I hold my cursor over it, it screen tips me and it says, edit the bookmark for this page. So if I wanted to edit that, I could simply click it and this box is going to pop up. So instead of having, maybe I want to name it GHC instead of Grays Harbor College. It's already selected. The text is already selected. And I'm going to do GHC and then I'm going to say done. And now that changes it from Grays Harbor College to GHC. So I could edit it that way. Or how do we tell if it's not a bookmark? So if I come over here and I go to Google, I can take a look over here in this area, and the star is there, but it's not yellow. It's not filled in. And if I cursor over it, it says bookmark this page. So this is a bookmark is something that you might want to go back to again and again and again, or maybe you started reading something and you can't finish it right now, but you want to come back to it, so you can bookmark it. You can also delete things fairly easy from your bookmark list. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click this to bookmark it. And it says bookmark has been added. Do we want to make any changes? So right now it says the name is Google, and I'm going to leave it Google. And it says it's in the folder, the bookmarks bar. If I click the drop down, it gives me a couple of options. I'm going to leave it in the bookmarks bar because when I have a bookmark, I kind of want to go back to it, and that's going to put it right here. Okay. And then I'm going to say done. So now this has a filled in star, and it's right here on my bookmarks bar. But remember, I said this isn't a default setting. So if you don't have this and you want it, you're going to come over here to the menu. This is the more options, or the customize and control Google Chrome. So if we click this, we're going to have a list of things, and one of those things is bookmarks. Okay, so here you can see my bookmarks here at the bottom. I have MSN, GHC, and Google. You see that over here? MSN, GHC, Google. And I have the check mark where it says show my bookmarks bar. If I take that out, then that goes away. This is probably what yours looks like. If we come over here and we click and we go to bookmarks, see we have a jump list here on the right hand side, but because we don't have any room on the right hand side, it jumps out to the left. Okay, and we're going to come over here and we're going to tell it that we want to show that bookmarks bar, and then here are my bookmarks. Okay, so my suggestion to you, since you're going to be doing a lot in Canvas, that's what we're making these videos for, is for Canvas, you're going to want to have a bookmark for Canvas. So if in the address bar you type in ghc.instructure.com, or you could always go to the Grays Harbor College website and click current students and then click to the Canvas sign in. It's going to take you right there. See, ghc.instructure.com. And then we're going to come over here to the right hand side and we're going to click that star. And it says the bookmark has been added, and it says log into Canvas. Now, you can leave it like that if you want. I would probably say Canvas login. Canvas login. Okay. And then I say done. And then here I have my Canvas login. So I know that as soon as I open up my browser, I can click that link and it's going to take me right there, and I don't have to go searching for it. So that's bookmark number one. Second bookmark is Grays Harbor College. So you would come over here and you would go to ghc.edu, and then you would click this button to make it a bookmark. Okay, so we have our bookmark, and then you'll tell it done. And I think it actually comes up with this Grays Harbor, welcome to Grays Harbor College or something. So you might need to edit this to make it smaller. The smaller you have your bookmarks names, the more you're going to be able to fit on that bar. Okay, So then we say done. And then the next one is probably going to be your Choker Mail login, because we want you to check your Choker Mail at least once a week, if not more. Okay, so once a week is preferred. Actually is okay, but we would like to see you check it more than that, because if you're checking it only once a week, you could actually miss important information from instructors or from administration. That's the only way they're going to contact you, is via Choker Mail. So we would come over here to Grays Harbor College's website, and we would go to current students, and we'd go to Choker Mail. And so here we have this. If you don't know your information, you're going to type it in. We're going to go on there under the assumption that you do know what it is. So we're going to go already use Choker Mail, and then here we can go to this is the login page. So if we come over here and click the bookmark this page, then I'm going to say this is Choker Mail. Okay, this is my Choker Mail login, and done. And that way I can log into my Choker Mail account. So you should have GHC, you should have your Canvas login, you should have a Choker Mail login. Okay, just for your quick bookmarks types things. Okay. All right. So far we've covered, what browsers are, what the internet is, what the home page is, how to differentiate between addresses, and to use the address bar. We talked a little bit about domains, how links work, how the back button works, how tabbed browsing works. I think that's going to come in handy for you, and then how to use favorites. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of shift the focus a little bit, and we're going to talk about downloading files. So we've already talked about downloading files in your Choker Mail account. We're going to go on and we're going to say we're going to download a file from the internet. Remember I said when you're downloading something from a remote machine to your local machine. And a local machine is a machine that's sitting in front of you on the floor, on your desk, or on the laptop that you're using. So that's your local machine. So I'm actually going to go to the IRS website, because I know it's a safe site, irs.gov. Now remember we talked about domains, that's a .gov, which means it's a government website. So who doesn't need to download forms from time to time? And like I said, I knew this was a safe site, so it wasn't going to be a problem. So if we come over here and we click forms and pubs, which means publications, but see they're shortening it so they can fit more on that line. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click that, and we can search for a specific form, but we're just going to click one of these. And remember, here's a link. So if I hold my cursor over this, it turns into a hand, which tells me that I have a clickable link. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And what happens is it comes up in its own little window here, and we have the 2015 Form 1040. And so I don't think we can oh yeah, we can fill it out here, but we're not going to. We actually want to download it and we want to print it. So in this specific browser, over here on the right hand side, we have the option, we have this little arrow with a line, and that is the universal symbol for download. Okay, so that's something that you'll know. Or you could just click print, but we want to download because maybe we want to print more than one, or maybe we want to be able to come back to it, if we make a mistake. So we're going to come over here and we're going to click download, and it says where do you want to put this? Okay, so not every download is going to be like this, but you should understand the different ways that things can be downloaded, and I'll show you a different way here in just a second. So when I click download, it said, okay, where do I want to save this at? So it says save as. This is the save as dialog box. And then we have this PC and download. So there's a specific area on the computer that deals with files that we download from the internet. And that's the downloads folder. So that's exactly where it went. If we don't want to put this in the downloads folder, again, you're going to use the navigation pane, and let's just put this in documents. And we're going to say, this says F1040 PDF. I'm going to say 2015 1040 PDF. Actually, I'm just going to do 2015 1040 form, okay? And I'm not going to put the PDF behind it just because it's going to do that when we do the save as file type, and we're not going to mess with that, right? Okay, so it's going to be in my documents, and I'm going to say save. And it's going to download, and you can see it down here. See it down here in the corner, okay? And then I'm going to click it and it's going to open it up and then I can print it, okay? I could also, okay, I know where it's at. I can go to Start. I'm sorry, I can go to File Explorer, excuse me, and then I can go to Documents, and then I can scroll down and I know exactly it was this 2015 1040 form. If I double click on that, it opens it up into, come on, it opens it up into Adobe Reader. Okay, so that's what that is. So that's how we would download something from a site like the IRS. Another way would be downloading like a program. I download programs all the time. So I'm going to go to bleepingcomputer.com, and you can tell I've been there before. Bleeping Computer is a wonderful website, and they provide a lot of free programs. It's kind of like a depository for free programs. They go out and they have deals with all these people who program, and they provide these things to us for free if it's a free program anyway. So I'm going to go to Downloads, and I'm going to search for Malwarebytes. Okay, Malwarebytes. Oops. And here we go. So I'm going to click this, okay? I'm going to click this. And you want to be careful when you're doing things like this because you could end up clicking something that you're not supposed to. In most cases, you wouldn't. Sometimes you might see another download button or something, and you might think, oh, well, that's the problem. Click this, and then it's going to come up and it says, if your download doesn't start in a few seconds, then please click here. And that would start that download. What we're going to see down here in the corner, it's waiting, waiting, waiting. We're going to see the start of that download. And so if we've initiated the download, that's fine. If we haven't, then we might have an issue, right? So it shows me, you know, it's downloading 19, 20, 21, 21.8 of 21.8. So this tells me it's completely done. And I could launch it from here. I could come over here and I could say, show this in the folder, and it would take me to my downloads folder, right? Downloads, and then I could double click on it to install it. This is not about installing a program, so we're not going to do that. But that's how you would download from different places, and you're going to have to download from Canvas. And so I'm going to go ahead and go into Canvas. Actually, I'm going to go into Canvas on Firefox because I don't remember. Oh yes, I do remember what my stuff is. So I've got let's see here. Oops, that's not right. Now look down here in the corner. I downloaded that file, and my Norton scanned it, and it gave me a check mark, and it said this file is free from malware, viruses, spyware, anything that can infect your machine. So that's another really good reason to have an antivirus, and we're going to talk about that here shortly. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here, and then you're going to have to download from Canvas. Inevitably, you're going to have to download from Canvas. So I'm going to show you here. So if we come over here, this is a course that we concluded over the summer, and let's see here, is this the right one? This is the right one. And so I made some information available on Canvas for my students, and one of them were files. So if I come over here and I click Files, you'll have maybe a list of files that you can download, and this class happened to be 102, which introduces Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. So we're just going to come over here because the likelihood is you're going to have Word files that you're going to have to download. So I'm just going to click here, and then here we have Word, and if I click on it, it comes up into its own window, much like that PDF did for the irs.gov website, right? And here I have the option, it says Download. Okay, if I click download, then it comes over here in the corner and it downloads it. If I click it now, it's going to open up in Word. Okay, maybe. Let's do always open. Let's see, open. We experience an error. Check the file permissions. Well, isn't that interesting? Okay, well, that's not going to work for me. Something's going on with my Word program. don't know what it is. But anyway, you would be able to click this and then open it up, and then you could save it as something else, or you could make your edits to it, or what have you, okay? And then we would come up here and we click close, and it's going to take you back to the files here, okay? I think I know what happened. It's because I concluded this, but anyway. So anyway, that's how you would download the files. Okay, so now we're gonna jump to security, and we talked just a little bit about that when I told you about the antivirus. And so you just can't be careful enough when you are surfing the net. Now, the internet is a wonderful thing. I use it all the time. I make my living that way. It's great, but for everything that it does wonderfully or helps you do, there's 10 things out there that are bad. So where it can be a big pain in the keister to deal with a lot of this stuff, and I do have people who have said, you know what, I'm just not going to use the internet ever again because it's just too big of a hassle. I hate to take that kind of stance because there are a lot of good things about the internet. Obviously, you know, we can learn online. We can take online classes. We can search for things that we don't know about, and we can find the answers to them. So, you know, when I was a kid, I don't know about you, when I was a kid, we had a bookshelves full of encyclopedias. And when I had to do a report, I pulled out an encyclopedia and I did research, you know. Now we can go to the computer and we can open up a web browser and we can type in our search criteria and boom, it's right there, you know. So it's for all the bad things that are out there, it's to me, the good outweighs the bad, but for some people, it's just not like that. But I don't want you to be afraid to use the internet, but I want you to be cautious. I want you to understand that there are definitely issues out there, and if you're not careful, you can become a statistic as far as, you know, your machine becoming infected and you have to spend a lot of money to fix it, or maybe someone steals your identity. I don't want that to happen to anybody, but you have to be very diligent on how you react to things, and you have to think about things logically. So, okay, security. First thing is, if you are running a computer, if it definitely if it is a Windows-based machine, if it is Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, 8.1, or 10, you need to have antivirus. Now, if you have Windows XP, then you have other problems. Okay, that machine has not been, or that operating system has not been supported for a couple of years now, and finding antivirus is going to work on it. It's going to be pretty difficult to do. Windows Vista is kind of coming up on that. So beginning of 2017, Windows Vista is no longer going to be supported by Microsoft. Doesn't mean it's not going to work. Just means that Microsoft is no longer going to support it. They're not going to release updates. Once they stop supporting it, then other manufacturers stop supporting it as well. So if you break something and you have to find a replacement, you're not going to be able to do that very easily. Not saying that you can't, just saying that it's not going to be easy. So, but you need to have an antivirus, and I'll give you a little hint, or a little tip anyway. If you have Comcast for your internet service provider, or if you have CenturyLink for your internet provider, you are entitled to a free copy of Norton Antivirus. In fact, I have CenturyLink here at my house, and that is how I downloaded and installed this guy. So if I double click on it, it's going to have a CenturyLink brand. Okay, so it says CenturyLink here. So I actually downloaded this free of charge from my internet service provider or my ISP. Okay, so if you're in the area and you have Comcast or CenturyLink, you have a free copy of Norton. And there's a couple of different ways to get that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this, and I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to type into Google, okay? And so if you have Comcast, we're going to start with Comcast first. Comcast allows you to download and install a copy of Norton Security Suite from Norton. It's made by Symantec. For up to 5 machines at no cost for the subscription that you pay every month for your internet. Now, I know they're very expensive, but they give you the most expensive Norton antivirus product as well. It's Norton Security Suite, and it's a derivative of the Norton 360, which is their high-end antivirus backup, all that stuff. So you can download that at no cost. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google and you're going to type in Norton Security Suite Comcast. Okay, so you can see other people have done that before, and you're going to hit enter. And that's going to bring up a list, and usually it's this first one. So we're going to take a look. We're going to take a look at the actual link that it's going to look at. So this is part of the safe searching type thing. So if we type in Norton Security Suite from Comcast and we're trying to click on a site, let's see if I can find one that maybe isn't. Yeah, so here, this I probably wouldn't click on because this has nothing to do with Comcast. So we know Comcast is Xfinity. So by clicking up here, I have ConstantGuard.xfinity.com. So ConstantGuard is the subdomain off of the Xfinity.com domain. Okay, so I know that's going to be a good site. If I come down here, Wild Security has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with Comcast, and I'm not going to click on that because that could potentially leave me vulnerable to being infected. Okay, so I would go ahead and click this, and it's going to ask you to log into your website. So you get this site, and it says here, Norton Security Suite for PCs. We give you the ultimate peace of mind, blah, 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 and it says it's included with your Xfinity Internet subscription. It's a $160 value. So if you kind of scroll down, it gives you a little bit of the information, and it even gives you instructions on how to install the program. You even have the option to download it if you have a Mac. Okay, Macs typically don't need antivirus software, but they do make it. I would go ahead and put it on there since it's free. Okay. Let's see here. Does it actually tell me? Before it was 6 and then they dumped it down to 5, and it's not telling me exactly how many you get, but I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say 5 machines, up to 5 machines. You'll click the red button. It's going to ask you to log into your Comcast account, and then it's going to redirect you to a Symantec website. On the left-hand side, you're going to have an orange button that says Start the Download, and then you're just going to follow the prompts. Okay, easy as that, piece of cake. The one thing you want to make sure is if you have an antivirus already installed, that you uninstall it. If it is Norton that's already on there, this will take care of that for you. You just follow the prompts and do whatever it tells you to do. If it's another program, if it's AVG, if it's McAfee, if it's Trend Micro, if it's ESET, if it's Nod32, if it's something else, you're going to have to go into the control panel and you're going to go to the programs and features, and you'll find that antivirus program there and uninstall it. So you'll click on it, you'll tell it to uninstall, and then you'll follow the prompts. And if you're not real sure about that, you can go to the control panel video for this course, and I kind of walk you through uninstalling some programs, okay? Or you could always call Comcast and they'll help you with it as well. So, but you want to make sure that you do those things. And anytime you uninstall a program like that, you want to make sure that you restart first, okay? So the next thing is going to be the CenturyLink. And I'm going to go back to Google, and I'm going to type in CenturyLink installer download, okay? And so I have all this list, and again, I'm going to look for links that have something to do with CenturyLink. If I come down here and this one, so this one right here, this one says download CenturyLink installer by CenturyLink Inc. This is, should I remove it? Why would I go to that site to download it if I can go to this site? So always try to go to the site that pertains to whatever you're searching for. Okay, that's one way to stay safe. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then we come to a CenturyLink site. And then we're going to click download the installer, right? Okay, so it brings us to another site. Now, this is a little bit different. This is Q.com, but that's still okay. We're still on a CenturyLink site. What's happened is in the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, Qwest was purchased by CenturyLink, or actually it was purchased by CenturyTel, and then CenturyLink and CenturyTel and Qwest all merged into one big happy family, I guess. But they still haven't changed over all of their website addresses. So we would go ahead and click on this, and you're going to follow the prompts. It tells you exactly what to do here, okay? So you do this, and it's going to ask you for some information. It's probably going to ask you for your phone number and your account number. It might ask you for a username and a password, just depending. If you don't have that information, then you'd need to contact CenturyLink and find it out. Now, if you have a different provider, or if you go to the library and use the internet, or you go to the school and you use the internet, and you don't have that at home, but you have a computer, anytime you're on the internet, it doesn't matter if you have an internet service provider or not, you need to have an antivirus. Most machines come with an antivirus, but they're only a trial version, and that's why I said you want to make sure that you uninstall any version of any antivirus that you have before you install these. If you don't have CenturyLink or Comcast, and you have something like WildBlue or HughesNet, those are satellite services, or you have Verizon service, you're still going to need an antivirus, but you're not eligible for a free one other than maybe AVG. So I'm going to go to Google again. Actually, I'm going to just open up a tab, and up here in the address bar, I'm going to type in FREEE, actually just 2.avg.com. So it's FREE.avg.com. Okay, I'm going to hit enter. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click this green download button. Yes, where did it go? There it is, free download button. So if you click free download, it's going to say this is what you're going to do, and it's going to start the download for me. Right here it is, okay? I didn't have to do anything other than the free download. Now, when this is done, you're going to click on it. And what's going to happen is a box is going to pop up, and it's going to ask you if you want the basic protection or if you want the free trial. Don't go for the free trial, because if you do go for the free trial, then you have to pay for it, and it's going to start bugging you in about 14 days. It's going to say, oh, your free trial's over. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And you're going to be stuck, and you're not going to know what to do unless you talk to somebody else. So just go for the basic protection at that point. So again, antivirus is very, very integral part of safe computing, and you can see here my Norton has scanned this, and it says, hey, this is good. You can go ahead and run this, and you're not going to become infected by running it, okay? So that's antivirus. Even with antivirus installed, I know I'm kind of contradicting this, but even with antivirus installed, it's not going to catch everything. It will catch most things. So you need to have something else in place. And remember this Malwarebytes that I downloaded? This is what you would use. So if you go to bleepingcomputer.com and you click on downloads and you type in Malwarebytes on the right-hand search bar, and you can download this Malwarebytes, and you can run it. So, we're just going to pretend like we've already installed it, which installing programs is very easy. You open it up and you accept the user account control, and then you follow the prompts, accepting it, taking the positive action. So if you have yes or no, it's going to be yes. If you have cancel or accept, it's going to be accept. If you have cancel or install, it's going to be install. So you take the positive action. Don't change anything as far as where it's going to be stored. Malwarebytes at the very end asks you to enable a 14-day trial version, because there's a paid version and there's a free version. Take the check mark out of that. If it asks you to change like your home page or your website search stuff, tell it not to do that kind of thing whenever you're installing a program, but otherwise you leave everything alone. So here, if we open this up, it's going to come up to this user account control that says, are you sure you want to let this run? And we're going to tell it yes. and then it's going to come up to this screen. I just installed this and ran it the other day, and it's fine, but you would click the scan now, and then it's going to go through this scan, and it's going to find things or it's not going to find things. And if it does find something, you're going to get a big remove button. So you just follow the prompts on these kind of things, and it'll help you either clean the machine up or keep the machine clean after the fact. But you know, if you're just really diligent about how you search for things and you're not just clicking willy-nilly on different stuff, you should be okay. I am on the computer 24/7. I have my internet connection that's always on. I spend a lot of time on the computer researching different things and whatnot. And I ran this scan after not running a scan on my computer for months, and it found absolutely nothing, nothing that could be construed as even being partially malicious. And that's what malware stands for, is malicious software. And so, you know, if you're just very careful about what you do and how you do it, you're actually going to keep that machine really clean. You want to make sure that you're not downloading a lot of free stuff like music, because you know, inevitably music is going to cost you. Even if the music was free, it's usually going to come in with some sort of a bug. If you're downloading free software that's not intentionally free, somebody has pirated it, you're probably going to have an issue. So if you're doing things that aren't quite legal, then that's when you start having issues, because a lot of times that's how people spread these kind of things, is because they know that people don't want to spend money on that single or that song by Bruno. They want to get it for free, and then they attach something to it, and then boom, you are infected. You've just, you know, let someone in on your machine, and they're doing a bunch of stuff that they shouldn't be doing, and then you can't do anything because you've got pop-ups. And so if you do start seeing pop-ups and things like that, Malwarebytes is definitely the program to run. So in this video, we talked about browsers, home pages, addresses and address bar, domains, links, back button, tabbed browsing, your bookmarks, how to download a file from a couple of different locations, what security to use for this area, how to search safely. And so, you know, that's pretty much it at this point for the internet. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, melissa.lenz@ghc.edu. I am more than happy to help you with any questions that you might have pertaining to any of the videos that you've watched. As always, have a great day, and thank you for joining me.